Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all okay. I've done a few videos lately on network radios, and these sort of radio phone hybrid type devices are really intriguing, and I'm looking forward to where the technology is actually going to go with these. So I'm always scouting around eBay to see what I can come across, and I just did a search for PTT phone just to see if there was any sort of network radios or PTT stroke UHF radios out there that were sort of going cheap that I could pick up and have a look at. So I did pick up one, and I'll talk about it in this video. It is the Mafam M2, and you can see here it actually looks alright. It doesn't look too bad. It was around 30 quid. It supports GSM mobile phone networks and is dual SIM. It has a UHF radio in it which covers 400 to 470 megahertz. I was thinking it's probably going to run 1.5 2 watts max. It's got multiple languages, Bluetooth, it's got a browser in it, it has the Facebook mobile site saved into it, MP3 player, it functions as a power bank, and it's got a 4000 milliamp hour battery. I thought that's actually not too bad spec wise for something that's 30 quid. So I thought, well, we'll pick it up, and if it's no good I can either send it back, flog it, or give it to one of the kids, or shove it in a drawer with everything else. So it arrived and it is awful. So I'm going to bring the camera in now and I'll show you why it's awful. Okay, so it arrived in this little tatty box, and it was tatty like this when it came. I opened the top lid there and thought, well, actually that doesn't look too bad. You've got the device in the top there. I thought for 30 quid that's not too bad. It's quite heavy. It looks reasonably well made from a glance. Wasn't a fan of the chintzy gold plates on the side, but I thought that is actually not too bad. Inside the box we've got a charging cable, a couple of screws for the back cover, a power adapter converter, and we've got an antenna and a belt clip, which I'm not going to bother with. We'll just put the antenna on. So the antenna just screws behind this little cover here into an SMA connector. It's a UHF antenna rated from 400 to 480 megs, and I thought, yeah, that's actually not the worst thing in the world. And then I did a little bit of digging. So just on the outside we've got the flashlight button on the top there, which is just plastic, and it activates that flashlight button, that flashlight on the top, and that is going to break. It's really horrible, cheap molded plastic, like a switch. It's not even a rubberized button. So that was the first thing. Underneath we've got the outlet for the power bank, because it is a USB power bank as well there, and we've got an input there for charging via USB, which is okay. On this side we've got a horrible little plasticky PTT button there, which is going to break. It's just a contact switch, and that won't last long at all. On the top we've got the LED light in there in a lens, which is reasonably bright, and as I say, we've got the antenna. On the back we've got a speaker there and a camera, and under this panel here we've got a battery, and I thought, what the hell is that? It came with some tape over the contacts there, some really thin, very small tape which stopped it from coming on, which it came with a battery inside, so I didn't realise it was tape over it, and it took a while to find, but that was the first thing. And you've got two SIM card slots and a memory card slot there, and that's what the sort of inside the back looks like. The battery just goes in like so, and the little cover just clips on, and there's 4 screws in the box to screw that down. So that's the external parts of the radio. We've got the keypad on the front, which is again quite chintzy and plasticky, and this orange plastic in the middle's awful. But yeah, that's the keypad, and we've got the screen and a speaker and a microphone there. So I thought, well, for 30 quid, even though it's a bit cheap, it's I thought, how bad can it actually be? So then I switched the device on by holding this button here, and that came blasting out. So I thought there'd be like a very early version or a primitive version of Android in this, but there isn't. It's just like basically what the old Nokia phones used to run off. So when you turn it on, every time you turn it on, it asks you to set the time and date. So every time you turn this device on, you have to reset the time and date, which I'm not going to bother doing there. And you can see we've got no SIM cards inserted. It's not a touch screen or anything like that. Got a big battery indicator on the top there. network indicators for each SIM card in there, and we've got the little note there which says that the phone's on loud. Okay, so to unlock the phone, you just press that button there and press star, and that unlocks the phone, and you can see we've got the little operating system in here. So we've got the walkie-talkie first, which I'll come to in a while. We've got contacts, we've got message, call logs, multimedia, tools and settings. Pretty straightforward stuff, but what I wanted to focus on was the walkie-talkie. It makes calls, but I want to focus on this walkie-talkie. So we click into this little application here like that. Oops, sorry. And it brings up a transmit and a receive frequency, no coding, which means there's no CTCSS tone enabled, and we've got a squelch level there, and a volume level which is 1, and channel which is 1. So there's no actual VFO for this. What you have to actually do is go into option, settings, and then you can go onto channel settings, into your first channel, and you've got to set the frequencies there for transmit and receive. So if you want to transmit on a simplex frequency, so on 433.525 here, you have to put that in transmit and receive and save it, which is a bit of a pain really. You can set a CTCSS in there. Noise means squelch. You can go in and set your squelch level, and you've got volume settings there, so you can set the volume, and you've got your power setting, which is high and low, and exit time, so after a certain amount of time it will just come off the radio. I think you can set it to 30 minutes, an hour or 3 hours, or just have that off. So that's sort of the settings. So I thought there would be a bit of a VFO in there, but there isn't. So that's how you have to go through and change your channels. Now the reason, I'll just cut to the chase on this, the reason why this is crap is because the receiver is desensitized by anything. The slightest bit of interference desensitizes it, and when that happens it comes up on the screen within the receiving, and while that is on you have to try and cancel it and come out of the radio, and as long as it's receiving the signal it's hard to do. So if I just take this Bofeng here and key up, you can see it says in the receiving there, and to try and get out of it when it's receiving noise, it just keeps coming back up as in the receiving, so it's really annoying. And that was the main reason why I put a complaint into the Zello on this and ended up getting my money back, because it just made the radio useless depending on what frequency you're on. So as you can see, we're on 433.525 there, and I'm just going to key up the radio here. I've got this Bofeng here, and you can hear the sound quality coming out of the speaker there. So the sound quality is actually quite loud and quite bassy. I didn't really think that was too much of an issue. Transmit quality out of this radio, the PTT is on this side, which is unusual. When you can get the PTT to work, it takes a couple of goes. Sometimes the PTT doesn't press straight away, but you can see the audio is very, very quiet. And if I hold it next to the microphone, you should be able to hear a hiss. So you should have heard a hiss there as I held it next to the microphone. It's quite noisy, the audio out of this device. So yeah, that was the main issues with this, which basically made me decide that it was rubbish. Firstly is the constant interference. It's actually behaving itself today, but constant interference on a lot of frequencies, which actually jams up the usability of it, because you've got to stop that notification from coming through. So what I kept doing was just unplugging the battery, and then secondly, the PTT is dodgy. It doesn't always key up first time. It's intermittent keying up, and just the overall cheap feel of it. So what I'll do is I'll actually record some audio into my scanner upstairs, and I'll put that into this video so you can hear what it sounds like.
Okay, this is audio test of the MAPAM M2, audio test of the MAPAM M2, 12345, 54321. Audio test of the MAPAM M2, 12345, 54321.
Yeah, so for kids messing about, it's not the worst thing in the world. For anyone who's serious about radio and these hybrid mobile phone devices, just stay well clear. And that's my opinion on it anyway. It's just not worth the hassle. I never used this since I put it back in the drawer. I've only just got it out today to film this video. It's really, really buggy, and it's just a pain in the neck to use. Okay guys, so that was the MAPAM M2. Yeah, You might like it. You know, I think it's all right for kids, but when you look at spending 30 quid on this and you can get this Bofeng here for 22 quid, it doesn't quite add up to me. Yeah, this needs a lot of refining and a lot of work. I think as a concept, it's a good idea, but this device is just not good enough. Really cheaply made. But then again, I'm probably expecting too much for 30 quid anyway. But I would expect a novelty that has some function, and this doesn't have enough function for me. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Have you had one of these? Have you tried one of these? Is mine just faulty? Let me know. Drop me a comment in the box below. If you've seen any other similar things to this that you want me to have a look at, then again, drop me a comment in the box below and I'll get back to you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. 7-3 for now.